Here's a highlight from a recent episode of Booked on Rock. Talk with Mike Ayers is the author of Sharing the Groove, the untold story of the 90s jam band explosion and the scene that followed. Dave Matthews Band, their story starts in Charlottesville, Virginia. You said that they did something revolutionary right out of the gate musically. Talk about that and their rise to prominence.
They came together organically in Charlottesville, which was not necessarily known as a music mecca, just really started playing out around town. But also, like Widespread Panic, like a lot of these acts got on the road pretty quickly. They're interesting because they had a saxophone, they had a violin. Dave's voice is not your typical voice on radio at the time. It was different. The way he would sing, the way he would phrase notes was unique. And we've been talking about how this scene values uniqueness. I was at school in Virginia, at Virginia Tech in 1994, and his Remember Two Things had just come out. The record stores there could not stock that. That was a word of mouth record.
That was the pre-major label. That was pre.
Pre-major label. It had the 3D art thing on the front that was super popular back then. That was the record cover, so it was super distinct in that realm. And most of the tracks on it were live, if I'm remembering correctly, or it could be the flip side. Regardless, it was a mix of studio and live tracks, which was also just different. And everybody could not stop talking about Dave Matthews at Virginia Tech in 1994, but mainly because he was essentially a hometown hero. He had played fraternities at Virginia Tech in the early 90s. He was just very adamant about going around the state to cities and just bringing their thing.
Ants Marching, Tripping Billies, Satellites on there. Those are the ones that ended up on Under the Table and Dreaming.
Yeah, so he embodied the same path and live ethos that everyone else did and would open for these acts in places that he had never been before. Crazy hustle.